So the Premier was supposed to come to the city, to come and get a briefing first, so that we own that briefing. But instead, he started the briefing without the mayor and without the briefing of the city officials, hence undermining us, undermining our department, because whatever he was saying there, he doesn't have a clue of what's happening. He was actually misleading the whole public. It was so sad, and it's very, very wrong. Because you listen to the science, what is happening. He talked about junction boxes and move up and down. No. He should have come down, come get a briefing. He's not a scientist. He's just politics and all of that. So I thought that, I said, look, I'm sorry, Mayor, but the undermining of the city by the Premier is not right. Because he did it in the public. So we can't go now back into the closed doors and act as if everything is fine. He undermined us. The JMPD has been here on the ground. EMS has been here on the ground. They are the ones who went there, and actually when they're doing their sweep, because I always say to them, pay attention to detail. I said, go back there and look if there are any victims that are there. It was about 11 to 12 at night. When they went back, there was a person underneath who was squashed. There was a report that there were no death, but there was a person who was squashed on top of the car. Now, when the press conference is actually happening, those efforts of the officials of the city, the command of the mayor, because the mayor is not a person who's really, outspoken like us, like that. But in terms of efficiency, in terms of running administration, it's very good. Because he said, MMC, public safety, this is your duty. You go there and give me a report. We give him the whole report. But now when he gets a report, he does not even acknowledge the hard work of the JMPD, the hard work of the EMS of the city, our engineers who are there daily night, who are doing those things. And he even went now to a press conference without consulting the mayor, even asked the EMS, and even the engineers, because we're listening to the engineers, saying that what might have happened there. They said, no, this thing here is not actually unique in South Africa. It happened in New York. So we're getting those kind of brief in terms of the scientific analysis, because we can't keep on there say, no, it's something like this, take them to air. We brought in experts, even the structural engineers. They briefed us in terms of the mayor and the CM. It looks as if there's no problem with the structure itself, because the blast area and the structure is at a safe distance. So we can declare the place safe. Number two, the gas analysis, which was measured by the EMS, they came and reported that it is safe now because there's no gas. Now he goes himself into the media, said nothing, none whatsoever, babbling with something I don't even understand. He even made a mistake of diagnosing what is happening in Fisherville. He said it was a heater. It was not a heater, it was a small atom, a pipe bomb that actually happened. So these misleading things from the Premier and the province is actually wrong. They are doing the same thing. The police are doing the same thing in the Department of Public Safety. It's the same thing. And I told General Mawela, stop what you are doing. When you come in the city of Johannesburg, get a briefing from JMPD, because we do Operation Manje Namhlanje. They went and launched Operation Shanela in a building that we've raided and we checked, and we know what is going on. They could have came in, said, look, guys, what are the programs and operations that you are doing? And then we give them a brief, what is happening there, what is happening, and we can tell them that we have a challenge here and here and here. We do have challenges. They could reinforce there, but what they do, they come and parachute themselves. Come here, unannounced, they do whatever they want to do, raid the area, leave it like that, and people come and call JMPD and the public safety. I feel that my department was being undermined by that Premier, and not going to happen again. When you address, you can address in these provinces, but you can't address here in terms of the city and actually pronouncing on things of the city. I'll go there, actually grab the mic and then actually speak, because we know more than him. I'll never actually listen to that. That department, I'm deployed there by the EFF. We are running that department. So if he actually is going to undermine us here, undermine a department that I'm deployed, it's not going to happen. Because he even addressed there, when you see it, he addressed using a banner of the city. Automatically, he's putting the city under administration. That's not going to happen. He must try it again. But we sort of yesterday retracted, because we wanted to get inside there and take away this banner, because it was the provincial address. So he must never undermine us. He must never do that. Even the police, they must have a proper IGR, intergovernment, the intergovernment relations. This is happening also in the Department of Health. We must take it up there, because the previous premier, they took the license of the ambulances of the city. We don't have ambulances here. Okay, we have them, but they took away our license. We've got 55 ambulances, of which we passed it in the council that even though they're not going to give us any budget, but we made the budget available so that we can operate our ambulances. But they don't want to give us a license. We've contacted the MEC for health. We did every now and then. He just keeps on laughing. We said, please just give us a license that at least we can assist and be the first respondent of the city. You see that now, because they were trying now to sabotage the mayor. When the mayor wanted to go in the hospital and go and see the people, the injured people, they keep us sending us from pillar to post, because the people who were injured were taken using their own ambulances. So they started to play politics there. That's why now we say, you know what, these guys were not going to be drawn into their politics. We're not going to do that. That's why we decided we're going to be focused. The city manager is running the show. We have a full confidence in him. We said, city manager, we're going to listen to you. If this is going to happen, it must happen this way. And he's doing very well, because all the departments, he's marshalling them. You've got the housing there, you've got the GRA is there, you've got the experts is there, the structural engineers, the fire engineers, everything. The EGOL is part of it, and every other individual who can give us what is really happening. Not some speculations and trying to think what is happening there. Yeah, what? Yeah.
Is it safe? Is the area safe now?
No, yeah, at this point in time, I just went from there up there, from that side and then down. The place is safe right now. I can safely say, because, I mean, I even joined the guys from Igoli. They're actually having what you call the gas detectors. They even did it in the air, so everything is still fine. I see some guys who are doing some imaging as well. I think, some geotechnical analysis as well. It looks as if, there's some stability, although there were the other cracks, they were moving the other direction yesterday, and then we think that where you are currently right now, it might not be safe, because you can see those cracks are starting to really grow there. But remember, because I'm a man of science, PhD in chemical engineering, okay? So what really happens is that you have this thing, it actually breathes as well. So we're not going to be surprised when it's become warmer, you start getting these cracks to really form. But yeah, so you've got what is called breathing, that elongate, and then, when it's hot, it actually expands. When it's cold, it compresses. So you'll see that the phenomenon. So, but since there's a crack right now, it's really, that's why that I've advised that we must cordon this area, and we must actually move out of here, because this might actually maybe I want to go down, because of if it becomes warmer, you might see these cracks, they're starting to form. But it's safe. Nothing is actually happening. But we smell a bit of, I think the guys, they've actually cut in the pipe. They've actually, Igoli guys have got a pipe, a steel pipe from out there. It's that pipe is probably a 3-inch pipe. If you look at it, it's a 3-inch pipe, and then it's a 3-inch steel pipe, and then it actually expands into an HDP pipe. You call it a plastic pipe. Okay, it's an HDP, high density polypropylene pipe. So it goes out there, but you can smell a bit of gas, because they actually cut it in. What they are doing is that on the steel pipe, they're doing what is called a thickness analysis. Because I asked them, because those pipes have been on the ground for a very long time. There's a question sort of in terms of, is the integrity okay in terms of the pipe itself? But they are doing, this thickness test to check if there's any rust like that. And I saw them excavating as well. They're going to, what we normally do in the place like, Sasol and where I used to work, when we have to check in terms of the leak, or if there's any issues, or maybe check any servitude, you excavate the area, you excavate another area like that. So you take a sample and check if there's anything like. So they are busy doing that now. There's excavation that are going on in the area to do that, yeah.
So if you are saying this place is not entirely safe,
yeah.
Are you perhaps planning on evacuating these people that live in these buildings that are closer to where the explosion happened?
No, at this point in time, I'm just saying that is the area where there was a blast, and the distance from where there's a crack that might be a collapse. Because remember, this place, it's what you call, it's a what you call it? I'm looking for a word. It's a culvert, the engineering word for it. It's like something of this nature like this. So you have the road on top is just collapsing into the culvert. It's a protected collapse into the culvert itself. But now the distance between the culvert and the buildings is so much that it's not going to affect it. So it is still fine. We're still okay. It has been declared by the structural engineer, as the city manager has said, it's safe, it's fine. If there was going to be any, we were going to be worried if this was actually very close into the building itself. Then you will compromise in terms of your, the stuff. And what the structural engineers actually do is that if you look as well, if there's any cracks inside they'll look into what you call the concrete beams. They check there as well if there's any cracks in terms of the concrete itself there as well, or there's any what you call an exposure of what you call the rebar inside. Those things inside is the rebar. Are they exposed and all of that? But there's no exposure because everything is still intact currently. Yeah.
Do we know how long reconstruction of the road might take?
I'm not sure that we can ask the CM. I think CM, the city manager, is working on that because in his team, there's all the stakeholders, and that was one of the questions that the mayor said is that after all said and done, we've managed to find what is happening. What is the timeline in terms of getting things proper? But remember, you still have to excavate and check what is happening. So they might have to excavate this place from there all the way down to check into the pipe and actually open up and expose this pipe of Igoli and check if there was any leak and all of that. Then from there they have to put the thing back and all of that. So, but I think that there will be another press conference. I'm not sure where. The CM and the mayor, they will pronounce that, so that we can give you a technical detail in terms of what is going to happen. I think even on that, it will tell you what will happen, how long will it take to restore this. Because remember, it's a busy road here. There's a lot of business which are here. So it's probably going to be the highest priority to be put. It's not going to be one of those like you put there and then you just disappear. You just have a hole. But there's a priority. I think the CM, if you can look at the CM, I won't even say in terms of the presentations that were there. Proper, the guys have done the work, the preliminary investigations. I wish that the guys would have been here to listen to it. Very exciting. We're even shocked that something like this happened in New York. They've confirmed it's not something. It does happen to a certain point in New York as well. So they're going to write a report, and that report will be released.
Okay. Yeah. Lastly, as the city, what are you doing to attend to these people's needs, the issue of water and electricity, and also the fact that movement is quite restricted here, so which means that we are literally relying on you guys to come up with a solution. When is the electricity issue, or rather when is the electricity expected to be restored?
I think that those are the details in terms of the other departments. They can give you in terms of when is the restoration, because remember now we still have to quickly get to the bottom of what really happened. So the city manager is doing all his best in terms of ensuring that is done. And I think I can see now there that there's water. There was a talk that there's some food that people they were given and all of that. But yeah, and the restoration of power. Look, we can't restore power at this point in time up until you ensure that the leak, there's no leak underground, exposed properly. Because remember, when you have to switch back the lights on, you've got a big cable like this. Then City Power have to energize it. When you energize high voltage, a very, very high voltage. So you have to ensure that there's no gases there. It's very, very clean. So we need to ensure that when they do the excavations, they check them out. There's no gases underground that have been trapped, and check if there's no leak. Then they're able to switch on everything and your switch and then energize. It's called energizing. You energize we call it in a Morse cable. You can see there when it's, it's got sparks actually.